This is Mass Constrictors, and we're almost done with our first rack build. So if you look behind me, we're just about completed almost. Unfortunately, somehow I lost all the video of me building it up to this point. I went to go edit the rest of it this morning, and I somehow deleted it. So where we're at now, we have all the shelves built. We have the heat tape on. We have the base down with casters on the base. And we are just finished wiring everything up and doing some wire management. So how we did it is we took the bins. This girl's going crazy. We took the bins, we put the bins upside down. I use grinder wheels. Let's get her to relax. Just a tiny bit, just a tiny bit. So how we did it is we started with the base, built the frame, took a tub, laid the tub upside down. I put 2 grinding wheels stacked in each corner, so a total of 8 grinding wheels per bin. I put 3 bins down, put this layer on top, screwed everything in from the sides and the rears. It's very important that you have sides, supports on the sides and supports on the rears. The supports on the rears, the wood back there stops the bins from pushing all the way through. A few things that I learned during this process: when you're sinking the screws in, you don't got to sink them all the way in. I sinked a bunch of them in. It caused the wood to crack. You do not want that. The other thing is, when you're using the sides, when you're doing the sides and the back post, make them level. I didn't level them out, and you don't notice it as you're on the lower levels, but when you start getting to the top, you notice it goes like this. So it's smart to level them out. It looks better, and it just helps secure it better. Now I'm going to show you the tubs. So I get the tubs. You know, I'm still cleaning these. I got to clean these up with rubbing alcohol, but I drill holes in the back. I didn't drill them. I used a solder iron in the fronts and in the back of the tubs. Okay, tubs will probably be for these boas and some of my ball pythons. These would be the grow up racks. So you can see she's in here. She's roughly close to a year, year and a half. This is plenty of room for her, okay? I'm gonna be putting up to 3 years old in here. Unfortunately, I'm gonna be putting babies in here too. So let me grab a baby so I can show you the size for them. So now look, this rack here is huge for this baby, right? I don't know what this snake is doing, but it felt like she just tried biting me. So I got these hides for them. I'm gonna be putting hides in here. With the hides in there, you know, it's not gonna be too big for them. They get scared, they can hide in here, okay? These are both very beautiful snakes, as they have the similar genes in them, similar morphs. And these are probably 2 of my easiest snakes to handle. This girl I could pick up by the face. You know, you don't recommend it, but when you grab her out of her enclosure, you can literally just grab her wherever. She's not very defensive. Same thing with this big girl around my neck. Both very tameable, manageable snakes, okay? So with the tubs out the way, their hides out the way for the babies, let me spin this rack around and I'll show you guys the wiring. So now with the casters make it very easy to move around. You know, let's say I gotta add some racks or, you know, unplug some heat tape or whatever the situation is. So for the heat tape, I have all the wires coming this way with it. You know, the first The top rack isn't any heat tape yet. I'm not going to do that for a while. But the first 4 rows will be plugging in here to this one, like so. This will get mounted here, boom. This will plug into the Herbstat. I have a Herbstat 2, so I'm going to do the first 4, maybe 5 rows on one side, and then the rest on the other side, which will, those bottom wires will get plugged into here, and they will run to the other channel on the Herbstat, okay? For the heat tape, I use this hole punch. I don't have any more heat tape, and I lost the video of me doing it. But you just take this, boom, punch a hole in each side on the buster bars, and punch a hole in the buster bars, hook up your wires to them. Underneath this tape, I have insulated tape so the wires aren't exposed. Very important, you don't want none of the wire exposed, none of the bare wire where it contacts to the buster bars. Another key factor, so sorry for the horrible lighting, I'm trying to move the camera around and record, but you can't really see too well. On each of these corners here, you punch a hole in the heat tape, and then you hook up your wires to it, and then you cover it with insulation tape that come with the heat tape. That's a better example there. And then you don't want no exposed wire. Another thing is, if you can see it, you do not want any of this metal tape anywhere. See, that's really close. You don't want it anywhere on this buster bar, on any of them. I use 12-inch heat tape. You could use whatever you like. 12 inches plenty, maybe a little too much for them, but it'll be good for them. With that being said, that pretty much wraps up our first rack build. We will complete the extra wiring that we have to finish here shortly. And thanks for watching. Please like, follow, and subscribe. This is Mass Constrictors.